If you are trying to do one of two things, one, you're trying to learn how to launch your boat by yourself, or two, try to be more efficient with how you launch your boat by yourself, this video is for you. Today we're going to walk through launching my Tracker 190TX all by myself here at a major boat ramp. Of course, it's quiet today, so we can walk through it kind of slow with you, but let's jump into it. Now, there are two key things that no matter what happens, you want to keep in mind when you're launching your boat. One is to have a process and follow that process every single time. The second part of that, which is really just as important, is to not allow yourself to get distracted. Don't let someone come ask you how you're doing this morning. Have someone come distract you from that process, because that's how you make mistakes. That's how you forget things like your boat plug or removing your rear tie down straps, things like that. You make those mistakes when someone pulls you away from your process, and that can create other issues for you that you obviously want to avoid. So without further ado, I'm going to walk you through my process. My dad sold boats my entire life growing up, so I've launched many boats. I was putting boats on trailers before probably I was 10 years old. And so I've been doing that for quite some time, even though I've not had my boat forever. But let me go ahead and walk you through kind of the process that I learned from my old man and how this is working out for me as a dad now, launching boats by myself pretty much every weekend. So let's jump to it. All right, so let's go to the boat. We are going to start here in the front and do a couple of things before we even get any further. The first thing we're going to do is unhook the safety strap here on a Tracker. There's an extra strap here that's just going to come out of our way. We're also going to give a little bit of slack to the line here. So we're going to loosen it up. I'm going to back it off a couple of cranks. Let's see if I can make that quieter. About 6 cranks. So what that's going to do, that's going to give us some slack for this boat to come off the trailer a little bit, but we obviously want to make sure that it doesn't fall off the trailer, because these aluminum boats, or any boat really, has the opportunity of falling off if you hit the brakes while backing rather quickly. That creates a whole nother issue, and I'll explain some opportunities you can get by just putting some slack in there here in a minute. The next thing we're going to do is get our trolling motor ready. We're going to take this strap off, and we're going to go ahead and plug it in. Now, for a couple of reasons. Now, why did I do that? Let's just say you back the boat in, it slides off the trailer, your motor stalls, it won't restart. You want to go ahead and be able to drop your trolling motor and get working, get a handle on the situation rather quickly. So we are done here on the front. We got our mini strap or tie down strap unhooked. We have our main loosened, and our trolling motor is ready to go. So let's move to the stern here. Now back here is obviously where a lot of the process is going to come into play. We're going to start all the way from the corner here and work our way through, starting with this strap here. All right, so we're going to start with this strap here. There we go. We're going to put our plug in. Don't want to forget that. We're going to take our transom saver off. Okay, so that is everything we need to do on the back of the boat to get it ready to go. Got my plug in, got my transom saver off, and my rear tie downs were trimmed all the way up. So now let's go ahead and put the key in and make sure we got power. This is going to do two things for us. One, we listen for the audible beep. That makes sure our kill switch is in and ready to go. I heard the fuel pump prime, so that's good. And let's go ahead and check fuel. We got fuel. And I'm going to go ahead and hook up the kill switch to my life jacket while we're here, because that's always something that you may tend to forget. So let's go ahead and do that now. But we're going to talk to you about how I approach the boat ramp and things like that. So we have a nice wide open boat ramp today. It is January 1st. A couple guys wiping their stuff down. The first thing I like to do is pick a spot. We're going to pick this spot next to the dock, and I like to go as far down the ramp as I can to make my turn. And what that does, it just kind of limits how much real estate I need to go all the way forward to pull ahead. And I'm going to pivot my left rear tire about where I want to line up with the dock, and look down the side of my truck, and I'm going to be straight up with that dock as much as I can, and just go ahead and pull forward until your trailer's behind you. There we go. Now there's a couple different ways you can back up your trailer, and I do have a Class A CDL, so I am able to pull a tractor trailer combination. Maybe I'm cheating, but the way I do it is I don't do the hand on the bottom of the wheel type thing. I look at it this way. If my trailer is in this mirror and I want it out of that mirror, I'm going to turn my steering wheel towards that mirror. If it's in this mirror and I don't want it over there, I'm going to turn the steering wheel towards that mirror. So as I'm sitting right here, I'm going to put it in reverse, and I know that my trailer is a little bit too far over. It's going to run into the dock. So I'm going to move my steering wheel towards that one and begin to back up until I start to, get some movement of that trailer. And now I'm going to bring it back. Okay, now I can kind of walk it back there, nice and slow, and get things lined up. So we're nice and close. And what I'm going to do is get it just so my boat starts to float. Remember, we left strap loose. So I'm going to get it in the water, and now I'm going to angle it a little bit more towards the ramp. Follow it in. We're just now touching the water. And I'm going to get it so that the boat starts to float and bump it just lightly so that it's coming off that trailer. And I'll feel it tug on the strap once it gets there. There we go. Now we got that strap is now tight, and we can go back there and check it out. So of course, put it in park and make sure that your emergency brake is on before you get out. You want to avoid being on YouTube for other reasons. Okay, so we're not doing too bad. Actually, we're not fully tight yet. I'm going to go ahead and unhook the strap, and we could go ahead and get ready to bump it off. Now we're going to go ahead and trim down quite a bit and go ahead and fire it off. And give it a second just to idle. And when you back off a trailer, the more trimmed up you are, the less reverse thrust you have. You have to get that prop pretty much parallel in the water to the water surface to get the most reverse thrust to get off the trailer. So I see people a lot of times, they've got the way trimmed up and they're trying to reverse, you're just sucking air at that point. So you want to have a decent amount of trim down to make sure that you're getting the thrust you need. Now all the rest of this is going to happen pretty quick. I'm going to go ahead and bump it off the trailer and then hook it up on the dock itself. So we're trimmed down. I'm going to point my motor a little bit towards the dock itself and go ahead and walk it off. Nice and easy. Spin you around. All right, we are off. I'm just going to walk it over. All right. And we're going to go ahead and do our hitch here. There's that. Okay, we are off. All right, so let's jump back in and kind of talk through that. That's how you launch your boat all by yourself pretty efficiently. We're going to go ahead and park our truck. And if I was doing this for tournament morning or something, I'd certainly be out of here a lot quicker. But we're hooked up. We only need the one tie down really at the dock. I'm going to pull up out of the way, and then I'll show you how I put it back on the trailer here after I'm done fishing for a little bit. So stay tuned. Okay, we're now going to load back up, just kind of reverse order. We are going to make sure there's no twists in this. No twists in our line, and we're going to go ahead and hook up our emergency one and tighten this up just a hair. Make sure that it's locked. And now we're going to go dump the trailer in the water. And what we're looking for is really not too much past, about this point on the fender. We want to make sure that it's in the water. Too deep is a problem. I want to see basically 2/3 of the bunks before I load up on the trailer with the boat. Keep it from sliding off and to make sure I don't float off the trailer as I approach it. Now we're lucky enough to have, a nice ramp here with docks. The process isn't a whole lot different if you have to beach the boat or do something else. So we're going to approach it just like we did before. We're going to go ahead and go all the way down the ramp as far as we can, turn around, and so that we're going to line up our trailer before we even start backing it up. So let's go ahead and do that. Get it nice and straight. Pull up as far as you need to. As long as you got space to pull forward, pull forward. That gets everything straightened up. And now let's go ahead and go backwards. So we'll watch it through the mirror here. We're going to approach the dock. We actually are just going to nudge the boat off the dock and drive it straight onto the trailer. That is by far the easiest way to do this if you've got the opportunity here. So you don't want to be right on the dock. Obviously you want some room to maneuver. We'll leave about a foot 1.5 feet or so. Square it up here. And nice and straight back in. You can see we've got some clearance there. Nice and straight. I'm watching the depth of my trailer here. Maybe hard to see with the glare, but it's almost hard to go not enough in. So just covered the step of the trailer there. I'll show you what that looks like from this side. Put it in park, set your emergency brake, and jump out. All right, here's what that looks like. And we've got it, not that far in the water. There's a lot of the trailer sticking out of said water, and we're gonna power load it. Before you untie, go ahead and trim up a bit, because this is all gonna happen pretty quick. We're gonna trim up some, go ahead and get the motor running, and we'll unhook our dock line and drive up there. Okay, now since we're still in control here, we'll go ahead and pull on it, square it up. Okay, so now we're unhooked, and I'm just gonna nudge it off the trailer, nudge it off the dock, just to here, and then jump in the seat. We're gonna go in gear, nice and straight, and I'm gonna get out of it. And you want that trailer sit right there, and the boat will walk up it, and there it goes. It just kind of fell into the bunk. Now we can power it up. Make sure you're trimmed up. Nice and easy. I'm gonna load it all the way up there. There we are. We are all the way up. Shut it off. Trim it up. Let's go hook it up. Definitely before you drive up the ramp, go ahead and hook it up. Make sure it's going to feed right through there. Like I said. There we go. Goodness. Trying to do this one-handed, so it's a little bit more clumsy. There we go. All right, we're good and tight there. And let's pull it out. All right, we're back in the truck here. Gonna take off our emergency brake, put it in drive, and just ease off of it. And go and drive off. Okay, now obviously, as before, make sure that you pull up all the way out of the way. I'm gonna spare you more or less from the rest of this. First thing I need you to do, if you found this helpful, like and subscribe to the channel. We're gonna go ahead and go in reverse order of what we did. We're gonna hook up our tie downs. We're gonna put our transom saver on. We're gonna pull the plug out. We're also, since it's gonna freeze here soon, lower the motor all the way down. That's gonna get all the water out of the lower unit, out of the impeller, out of the block, and make sure things are nice and dry so that if it freezes, you don't have any issues with water being in the engine. And after that, we're gonna go ahead and unhook our trolling motor, strap it down, and go on our way back home. If you found that helpful, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.